Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 3. So Module 3 is our first module getting into the genres that we'll be writing. So we're moving past that introductory information and getting into some of the real content of the class. We start with short stories because, first of all, a lot of students are a little bit more familiar with short stories, and second of all, it tends to be a little bit easier for students to write. So we do short stories first, and then poetry will come after that. And so this first module is kind of getting you into just an introduction to fiction writing. Some of it will be review for those of you who have done a creative writing class before. Some of it will be new information. So there are two major things that you're doing. The first one will be a quiz, which I think is our first quiz of the semester. So the quizzes in this class are ones that you can take multiple times. They pull from a pool, so each time you take it, you might get a few different questions, and then the questions are just multiple choice, true, false type of questions, and you can just take it until you get the grade that you want, or you can just take it multiple times just to test yourself. So it's really kind of up to you, or you can just take it once, that's fine. So that's one of the assignments. The readings come from our, mostly from our Introduction to Creative Writing book. And so this one is a good resource for us. We're starting in this writing fiction section and then just learning about the elements of fiction, kind of what it is, different types of characters, setting, the plot, triangle, which is important, or pyramid, which is used to discuss like the 5 different parts of the story, and then going into things like conflict, different types of conflicts that a character can have, points of view, and themes. So those are just terminology that we will look at throughout the semester, and then these are things that will be part of the criteria of your assignments as you start writing short stories. So you can see the readings are from both textbooks, mostly from this first one that I just showed you. The information, and so when I chose this book, Experiences Not Explanations, I didn't realize that this author had actually used this book as one of their main sources. So there are a couple of chapters out of this Experiences Not Explanations that are essentially the same information. And this intro to kind of elements of fiction overview chapter is one of them. So you may find that just the explanation in this chapter is easier to understand, or you may just skim through it and realize you know all of that. But there are some really good videos in this this resource as well. So I just linked a couple of them, mainly thinking that these two in particular would really help you with just thinking about how fiction writing is a little bit different from the other types of writing that you've done in the past, and really getting into what do you need for a short story. We aren't writing any short stories yet. That will be in the next module. The next module will be our first short story. Instead, we're going to be doing some practice. So the practice will be just practicing some elements of short story writing and creative writing in particular. So we're focusing on the things that you need for fiction. You're going to pick 3 of these prompts, and we'll do a similar assignment when we get to the poetry unit. But in this case, we're focusing on things that will help us out with just fiction writing and kind of practicing those elements. So you have 6 prompts here, and you only have to pick 3 of them. And basically you just follow the directions. So, writing down interesting people that you know, and then putting them in a situation to have them have a conflict so that they could, argue about it. Sensory description, describing your favorite food, using as many senses as possible. Using a short story of an object, just writing about, picking an object in your house and kind of writing an interesting storyline, whether it's actual, if you know the story of the object, or imagined. Imagined is more fun. And just writing out, where did it come from. You can use, I like the stock image one, because students will pick like a really, someone pick a weird stock image. Or you maybe not want to do an AI image. Those can look kind of creepy, but I could create a character profile. So, you just search for woman reading book or something, and then you get a stock image, and then you create a scenario for her and why she's sitting there reading a book. I like this one also is picking your favorite two favorite characters and then having them in the room together, and what would a conversation between them look like. I would do characters from different places. So you might have, Gandalf and Dumbledore. What would they have a conversation about? So that way you've got just, something that you can explore as completely created from your own imagination, as opposed to like taking a scene from a movie and then just writing out the transcript of what they said within the movie. So you want to be thinking about something there, and then bystander perspective, can't talk, is two scenes, or a scene where two characters witness an action or conflict, and then you write it twice, basically from each person's perspective and how that might change based on the person's perspective. So just some variety of things. These are all graded on whether or not you did them and not whether or not they're any good when you're done. So, and I sometimes get questions about length. They do not need to be real long. I would say you might end up with like a page for each one, but you need to show me some of those creative elements. So, we have a character, we have some description, we have some setting details. You don't have to write out a full story, but you're trying to add in those elements of fiction and really show me that you are understanding some of these concepts that you're reading about. And then basically I graded on, did you do 3 prompts? And if so, then you get your points for it. So if you have any questions about it, or if you have written something and you're not sure if this is what you're supposed to be doing, you're more than welcome to email it to me. It is not cheating to ask me my opinion before you turn in something to be graded. Otherwise, if you don't have any questions, have a great week.